Mhm. Peace, love, and positive vibes to you and yours. Welcome to another Monotfahme Monday, y'all. Great to have y'all back. Peace. So, Instagram is joining us for the first time ever. Welcome, people on IG. So, we've been talking about healing and growing, and I guess it's kind of just like a thing now, and I like it. But we're gonna talk tonight about loving people how they feel loved, because it's one thing to say that you love somebody or do things for somebody that you think that you're showing them love, but it's a whole different thing to actually show somebody the love how they feel loved. So tonight, that's what we're going to talk about: how loving people how they feel loved. So I used to be the type person that I never thought about that, I guess. And I think that a lot of people are here, and not saying like at this point right now, but maybe have been at this point in their life. So I never really thought about people felt love or responded to different things. Like I always just thought, like love was love. Like you do things for people and that's how you show them that you love them. Like you tell them that you love them. I don't know. Like I never really thought about somebody might need solitude and that makes them feel loved. Like I never thought about somebody needing oh, hang on. You know what I need to do real quick? Hold on, y'all, before I get too far, because I do not want to do this. I forget sometimes to change this to public on Facebook, because if I don't change it to public, we can't see anybody's comments. So sorry about that, y'all. Okay. I never thought about the other ways that people could feel loved other than just you do things for people. That's how you show them love, right? Well, not everybody feels love that way. Did you guys know that? Because I didn't. And some years ago, God, I don't remember how long ago it was, I read this book right here, y'all. It's called His Needs, Her Needs. Now, this is not the end all and know all of everything, but I will tell you that this book opened my eyes. I was shooketh. I was like, whoa. Holy crap. I had so many aha moments reading this book. And maybe you guys are light years ahead of me and you're laughing at me right now. Girl. But I'm telling you right now, I learned a lot from that book. It really opened my eyes to so many things about my partner. Remember last week, now IG, y'all didn't hear this, but people who watched anywhere else, remember last week we were talking about damn it. What was I going to say? Oh, we were talking about, I was saying anyways, you guys were just listening, I guess. But I was saying about how relationships, no matter what relationship it is, whether it's a business relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's family relationship, whether it's an intimate relationship with a partner, all relationships are an act of service. Like you are somehow serving the other person. That's basically your job in the relationship. You are to uphold your side of it, and it's a service. You're doing something for the other person. Literally, even if it's business, think about it. Okay, so you're providing a service, right? They're providing money, you're providing us some kind of a service, or vice versa. You might be providing money to somebody and they're providing some kind of a service to you. That's still giving them money is still a service too. I don't know. It's a service. So anyways, that really opens up a whole other side to this loving people how they need to be loved, because that's a service. So when you are in a partnership with someone or intimate relationship with someone, you really are of service to that person. You are there to love that person how they want to be loved. Not everybody has the same love languages. Do you guys know your love language? Does anybody out there know something that makes them feel loved they want to tell us? What's one thing? Peace, y'all. Peace. Thank you so much for joining. What's one thing that makes you feel loved? I'm gonna share something with y'all that makes me feel loved. I shared this on Instagram in a meditation last week, but I love like conversation. I like to talk with my partner. I like to have like deep, like literal intellectual, like nerdy type conversations. I want to talk about how crazy things are in the world, and I want to talk about what we think about stuff, and I want to talk about if you think there's life on other planets. I want to talk about how many galaxies do you think that there are. I want to talk about spirituality. I want to talk about I'm a videographer, so I want to talk about camera stuff with you. Like if you like sports or whatever, you could talk about that with me. I might not know anything, but I'm still gonna listen. You feel me? Like I just like to have conversation. Like that's something that makes me feel loved. So like, does anyone out there want to tell us something that makes them feel loved? Okay, so the point is like if you don't know your love language, you can't communicate that with your partner, right? So can't get what you need from that person. Like you cannot get that. So first we have to figure out these things about ourselves. Like you have to take the time to sit with yourself and ask yourself questions like, what makes me feel loved? What do I enjoy? Like when I am dating somebody, what are the things that get me like excited? What makes you, I like someone to tell me, like that they're attracted to me. I want to be told that I'm beautiful and things like that. I think most people, I think that, but see, there might be people out there that are like, no, that doesn't matter to me at all. I don't care. Like, I like acts of service. I like when people do things for me. Like, I like if you know something, I don't want to do something, like, please do it for me. I will be so grateful and thankful and so like, I like stuff like that. I like if you do something that means something to me. You know what I mean? Like, we each have our own things that make us feel like we're loved. And if you are not giving the person that you are dealing with in your life the things that makes them feel loved, you could be pouring all kinds of stuff on this person. Like, for example, like maybe you like gifts yourself. So you give gifts, right? Because you think that that's how people feel loved because you like to give gifts because you like to receive gifts, maybe, right? So if you're giving somebody gifts and that person doesn't feel love by getting gifts, it's not that they don't appreciate the gifts. They do. I'm very sure that they appreciate the gifts, but they're not taking that as a love signal. So they still may feel neglected. They may not be feeling loved by you, even though you love them and you feel like you're showing them love. You have to learn what another person loves. What do they like? What makes them feel like you care? Like, it's important that we know these things about ourselves, obviously, first, because, like I said earlier, you cannot communicate with another person what you don't know about yourself. So, have you guys ever sat down and like literally thought about this for a moment? Like, take some time with self, like analyze yourself. Sit down with self and say, like, okay, what do I like? What don't I like? And look at your relationship. If you're in a relationship with somebody, if you're not, then you should be doing these love things to yourself. Yep. You should be loving yourself however you want someone else to love you as much as possible. Like, for real, for real. Do that for yourself. The more that you do that for yourself, the more that you will attract people who want to do that for you, first and foremost. And second of all, if someone does try to get into your life, they will see how you do things for yourself and they will be like, okay, I have to at least do this or better in order to get this person's attention or be a part of this person's life. Because people know that they can't give you less than you give yourself. Because who's gonna settle for less than they give themselves? Some people don't give themselves anything, though. Some people don't do anything for self. They don't show self any kind of love. So if you're not showing yourself any kind of love, then people that come into your life probably don't feel like they have to do anything either. They'll give you the bare minimum of anything. And sadly, a lot of people will accept that because they don't even love themselves. So do for yourself right now, if you're not in a relationship, the things that make you feel loved. If it's time by yourself, like some people like solitude and that makes them feel loved, then take some time for yourself. Be in solitude. Love on yourself a little bit. Take a bath. You know what I mean? Read a book. I love to read. Read a book. Do the things for yourself um that you would want someone else to do for you. If you like words of affirmation, then look in the mirror and tell yourself that you're beautiful or you're handsome. Thank you. Do that for yourself. Tell yourself that you're handsome. Tell yourself that you're beautiful. If that's something that you need to be told, like how you feel love. Or maybe you like to be told that you're intelligent. Like that's a word of affirmation. That's something too that's positive. You could do that to yourself too. You can tell yourself that you're intelligent. Speak to yourself. Thank you. Do these things for yourself right now if you don't have a partner already. And if you do have a partner, learn these things. Find out what you feel loved, how you feel loved. If you already know these answers, like if you already know, there's a whole big huge list. See, the one thing about this book is that it only has like five, the top five. I'm saying top because that's they're saying top five. I don't know if it's the world's top five. But honestly, there are so many love languages. It's so much more than this. This one has got like conversation, affection, sexual fulfillment, um, recreational companionship, honesty and openness, looks. Some people want their spouse to, look really good. Some people don't really care that much about that. Some people don't really look at looks that much, and they just look at other things. They like personality, or you know what I mean. But some people want their spouse to be good looking, and that's like a thing for them, and it's like really top on some people's lists. Some people need peace and quiet. We were talking about that. Some people have a need for like their significant other to be a great parent, um, admiration, stuff like that. So if you already know your love languages or you have them figured out, a conversation with your partner, sit down with them and ask them about their love languages, what makes them feel loved. If you don't want to just start off with like, yo, I need this and this and this and this, and you just come to the list, I need you to do all these things for me, all the things. My love languages are kind of like, I feel like every time I read something, I'm like, that's my love language too. Like it's like I have like all of them that they just fall on a scale. um but if you already know your love language, sit down with your partner and ask them about theirs. And if they don't know what theirs are, maybe you guys can figure that stuff out together. It's kind of fun, right? Getting to know one another, ask questions. Well, how important is this to you? Or what do you think about that? Or, figure each other out. And that'd be fun. But that's my conversationalist side, right? I'm like, let's talk about it. So, why is it important, right? You're like, okay, great. So you're just telling us like that we need to do all this, but why, right? So, have you guys have all probably been in a new relationship, right? Where things are like exciting, or when you first start dating someone, and things are like exciting, right? And it's like everything is fun and all that, right? Well, that kind of stuff, doesn't have to just be gone forever. It can stay like that. But usually what happens is that we come into these things and we have like a bucket, right? And inside that bucket, it has like it's almost like we get, you know how in video games like you have like certain amount of guys, like, you know, you have a certain amount of lives or whatever, right? You get a bucket with like so much love in it already. We'll call it love, okay? So there's love in this bucket already, that when you first meet somebody, it's kind of like already there because it's just the excitement and everything, right? But the thing about it is that you were constantly pulling out of that love bucket and giving it to that other person, right? That's okay. That's good. You should be doing that. But if that person isn't putting things back into the bucket will eventually become empty. So, how can you give anything from an empty bucket, right? Peace, goddess. Well, you can't. It becomes very draining on self. So now you aren't giving from what you have overflow of or enough of. You're giving from what you should be giving to yourself. You're taking away. You take away. And when you take away and take away and take away and it never gets filled, it becomes a burden. And this is how our relationships become so like, I don't know, like war zones, man. People don't know how to love each other properly because they're not filling each other's buckets up. You're just like emptying your bucket on the other person, trying to take care of self's bucket and dump on the other person, but nobody's filling your bucket. Like, yo, it doesn't work that way. And then eventually it's like neither of you even want to give anything because there's nothing left to give anymore, right? So we need communication and we need to know who we are and what makes us tick. And we have to learn that about our people, man. Because then when you know how your partner feels love, you're able to fulfill that. You know what I mean? Now this is something that like is a choice though. You know, you're able to fulfill these things when you know what's needed of you. Now you have to make a choice. Like, are you going to put in the work? That's another phase to it, right? That I think we forget about when we get involved with people. Like, it always seems like a good idea, like, but are you really ready to put in the work for it? It's not it's not going to just like do it on its own. It doesn't just like happen. There's like ugly moments. You know what I mean? Not every moment in a partnership is always just going to be sunshine and roses. Like, we need some of those uncomfortable moments. They don't even have to get ugly. Like, they just might be a little uncomfortable or less desirable conversations that you maybe don't want to have, or what may seem like nerve-wracking because like we're not used to communicating in this way. Many of us, some people out there already have all these skills, and man, more power to you. If you already have all these skills and you got this shit down, I don't know why you're on here, because I probably can't help you at all because I'm still learning myself. We're growing together. You feel me? So these are just some things that I've learned over the years before I started talking out loud to people about these types of things, because I am still going through my own stuff. But these are the things that I have learned. So I would like to share them with y'all. But there are people out there who are eons beyond me. Man, y'all got it together. Like, that's what's up. That gives me hope for the fact that we can all do this. We can all figure out how to have great relationships with human beings rather than, and I mean all relationships, not just intimate partnership relationships, but great relationships with all human beings. That's the goal, man. Yeah, exactly, Michael. Well, the less desirable conversations usually are the most important ones. Exactly what my point was. I was kind of rambling because I do that. But that's exactly my point is like sometimes those conversations are less than desirable. They might be uncomfortable, but they're super important. Like you have to say the things that need to be said. And if you're not feeling fulfilled in a relationship, you have to have that conversation. See, I don't know. I didn't used to have these conversations. I used to just act out like cuz I didn't know how to communicate and I didn't probably even understand why it was that I was feeling the way that I was feeling. My energy and I was feeling the feelings of rejecting that other person, but I didn't understand why at the time. I didn't realize that it was like literally my body or my energy, myself, my one talking to me like, yo, nah, this is not for me. Get away from it. Like, no. But now I can have conversations with people and I will too. But I'm only going to have a conversation with you a couple of times about the same thing before I just kind of like, I don't know. How many times do you have a conversation? Like, me personally, I don't like repeating myself too many times, and I feel like we're all adults. We're grown. If you're dealing with me, you're an adult. So, how many times do I need to tell you like that I'm not fucking with something? Like I need something like because I'm gonna express my needs like through communication, open, honest, respectful communication. So I would anticipate that you meet that with um respectful reciprocation of what I've been communicating to you that I need or that I don't like. And I would expect the same from my partner or from my friends or from a business a person to communicate with me something that I'm doing that's less than desirable to them, something that I'm not providing for them that they need. I would expect you to communicate with that to me because we're adults. And especially if you see me communicating with you things, that should be an open door that we have open honest conversation, which for me, I'm going to tell you from jump like be honest. This is an open honest thing here. If we can't be open and honest with one another, what are we doing? Because I can't do all that other stuff. But that's just me. I need that open honesty personally. Because here's the thing is and there's going to be some other people out there that are feeling me heavy on this, but I can feel your lie. Like you can't lie to me. I'm not somebody that you could lie to cuz I could feel that shit. Like lies have energy. They have a vibration about them and they can be felt just like the truth can be felt. I don't think anyone likes repeating themselves. No, I don't think they do either. Yeah, honesty is super reassuring. Absolutely. It's very comforting. I feel really safe with somebody who can be honest with me because I might not always like what somebody says. The thing about honesty though is that you give someone the opportunity to either accept something or say, you know what, this isn't something that I can partake in. And either way, that's okay. You've done both of you a great service and a favor because then if somebody can't accept you for who you are in your entirety, then they will never accept those things about you. Like if that, I'm not saying, I guess I can't say never because sometimes people grow and they change their perspective on things. But like it's hard to do that when you're in the middle of something like that and someone's doing something that constantly bothers you. Like it's going to agitate the fuck out of you and it's going to really really ruin a relationship. It's going to be very difficult to have a healthy relationship with somebody if there's things about that person that you cannot accept. It's going to be very difficult. And for both of you. Because here's the thing is that you have to either lie about who you are and constantly be somebody that you're not just to appease the situation, or you're going to have to deal with the drama and the aftermath of doing whatever the fuck it is that you want to do and then them finding out or whatever. Like, it's just, for me, it's too much. For me, it's too much. I don't want to deal with it. It's a waste of my time. It's a waste of my energy. My energy is precious. I'm not dealing with that. Like, we either could be completely 100 and honest with each other, or you can move around. I'm going to move around away from you. I'm going to leave you alone. If you get to lying to me, I'm going to leave you alone. Oh my gosh. Oh crap. Okay. What did you say? Time is too important to waste. Yep. You can't keep doing that shit. Fuck that shit. It's not for me. I'm telling you. Very unhealthy, and the potential of bringing kids into it. Mr. Bay, that right there is really the biggest part too, because it's super unhealthy, period. End of statement on that one. Super unhealthy for all parties. But when you bring kids into it, because y'all just kept sticking with each other because you loved each other. But here's the thing, is either of you showing any kind of actual love towards one another that the other person feels love? No, you guys are just literally fighting like cats and dogs all the time. And you can't stand this about him. He can't stand this about you, so on and so forth. It's madness, right? Now you want to bring kids into the scenario? Oh my God, yo. Look, some of us have done this, okay? And it's a terrible, terrible. It sucks. It creates a lot of problems. And I don't know about y'all, but I never wanted to create any broken homes. Sadly, myself, I have some broken homes, but I'll tell you, I never wanted that. Never. I never wanted that. You live and you learn. And I'm grateful that I'm grateful that I have learned a lot in the many lives that I have lived in this one body. Bro, I have restarted my life so many times in this one body. It's crazy. It's madness. But I'm super grateful for the lessons, because I wouldn't be the person that I am right now today. And the person that I am right now today is so much happier and healthier and loving and positive and so much different than the person that I was even just a few years ago. So I'm really grateful for the growth. But I'm still growing, because, like, man, there's still some things that I would definitely like to enhance about myself. And that's why we're here to do this. Maybe you guys can help me grow too, because we gonna grow together. We can learn from one another, but we can't do that if we don't talk and spread each other's knowledge. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a doctor, y'all. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist. I am none of those things, but I am someone similar to yourselves, a human being on this earth that has been through some shit too, that maybe didn't learn things in life, but or before, when I was a child, a lot of us weren't taught a lot of the things that we need to actually fully function in real life as a child, because our parents weren't taught that and their parents weren't taught that. And it is a vicious motherfucking cycle. And I was literally just talking to my mother about this weekend, about how that's a vicious cycle that, like, started way before it started. My mom's parents were raised a certain way, and something happened. You know what I mean? From, I don't know, who knows? We're taught so many lies, yo. But we can go back as far as at least like our great grandparents era, from things that like our parents will remember, and they didn't raise their kids right. They didn't teach them very well. So then my grandparents are raising our parents' generation. Our grandparents' generation is damaged and wasn't taught a lot of things. Man, it wasn't until my generation is like been a lot of There've been a lot of ceiling breakers, man. We even broke a lot of ceilings, my generation. We went through hell to make the next generations after us be able to have certain things and live certain ways. And like, my generation was the first generation to have internet. You know what I mean? Like, really, we were the first ones to actually have the internet and chat rooms and things like that. Like, I remember being in high school and I had all different color hair. My hair would be different color all the time. I had crazy haircuts. I used to pierce my fingernails and paint them all different colors and put designs on my nails and polka dots and do my makeup crazy as hell and do my hair crazy. Man, I got teased so bad and called all, well, teased until I started beating ass, but I got called all kinds of names and freaks. And man, it was taboo. Nowadays, people wouldn't even bat an eye at the way that I dressed or the things that I did to myself, like, so we're responsible. I feel like my generation is responsible for kicking off like this healing. And I feel like it's our job. Like, we have a responsibility because we were the first like generation to have the internet. Like, we have access to knowledge at our fingertips, like vast amounts of knowledge that you would have had to go to how many libraries back in the day to find this kind of information that we can find now. Like, you would have had to read how many Britannicas, bro? Come on, man. And even still, like, it's still, we wouldn't have had access to the information that we have access to now. It's astounding. But now that we have that, we have to utilize it. That's why I say it's my generation's responsibility to begin this healing process, because we have this information now. And it's we need to do this. We have to do it. Because when we heal ourselves, we heal our parents. This is what's so amazing, is that we are at an age and at a point where some of us still have our great grandparents and our grandparents too. So like, when we heal ourselves, we can pass that down, and we're healing our elders. We're healing our ancestors, even the ones that aren't alive. We can heal then our children too, who are young enough. Most of them are either in their early adulthood or still teenagers. And some of us in my generation even have younger kids. We can heal them, or some of us can even give them childhoods they don't even have to heal from jump, because you already healed yourself. You feel me? Like, but here's the thing, is that they will have children who are more likely to be healed. If they're healed, they'll have healed children entirely. So it's a huge change. We have the opportunity right now to break so many cycles and make so much change. Like, we have to grab a hold of it. You don't have to watch my shows, although I would love if you do. But there's some other great people out there that talk about the things like healing and meditation and all of the things to connect with our oneness and connect with each other and connect with our divine source. Like, there's so many people out there. Like, use this knowledge that's at your fingertips right now. Use it now, because we have it. And just like it was given to us, we never know when it could just be taken away. So we have to use it as much as we can. So, with that being said, love your people how they want to be loved, man. You have to fill each other's cups back up. You have to fill up the cup of your partner. And you do that by giving them what they need. If your partner needs you to do things for them, do some things for them sometimes. Like, you don't have to do everything for them all the time. But I bet you will see a really dope reaction when you do the things that they feel loved by. Like, you will notice a difference. And if you're both doing it for each other, you'll finally get to feel like the actual love, the fulfillment, the fulfilling and satiating love that you both deserve. And if somebody doesn't want to do the things for you that you need, and see, this is my, I don't like to repeat myself because I'm only going to tell you so many times. If you're like me in that aspect and somebody doesn't want to do for you the things that you need, it's not selfish and it's okay to walk away. That it's absolutely 100% okay. And you should, because you're not like, you're doing everybody a service in that aspect. That person is clearly not for you and you're clearly not for them then either. That's okay. It doesn't make either of you a bad person. It just means that you guys aren't for each other. Like there's somebody else for you out there. And there's somebody else for them. We get into issues when we try to prolong those types of things and we try to, I don't know, like force and hold on to situations that are not healthy or beneficial for both people. And that's where, like Michael said earlier, sometimes kids get brought into those situations. But here's the thing is, whatever's for you can't be taken from you. And whatever's not for you will never fully stay. So like if you are continuously trying to force a relationship that is not, it's not vibing, you feel me? It's not right. You're going to constantly be at odds with that person. Like you won't be able to communicate. You guys you're not hearing each other. You're speaking different languages entirely. Yeah, their loss. Oh well. And it's not, and you're right. People do say, "Oh, their loss." It's not a loss. It's actually a gain. It's a gain for both parties because you have opened up the space now where somebody was at that was not for you. You open up that space for somebody that fits you better to come into it. And that's a beautiful thing. And in the meantime, in between time, love on self. Love on self the ways that you need to be loved. And if you don't know how you feel love yet, you should learn that. Learn yourself. Take the time to know yourself and learn yourself. You'll be really grateful that you did. You'll be really grateful that you did. For sure. Sometimes it's hard for us to be alone. Like, it's hard to be by yourself and to feel like some people get feeling very lonely. And I know for some people more than others, it can be more difficult. We all have our own levels of like codependency where we need other people around us all the time. Like some people don't at all. I'm kind of like the person that could just literally almost be by myself all the time. Like, no, I'm cool. But some people need people, like they feel like they need people around them all the time, constantly. And I want to say you might need, you need to sit by yourself more than anybody. If you feel like you cannot be by yourself, you have to have a significant other. You need to sit with yourself for a little while. You need to sit with yourself because you need to figure out why it is that you feel like you always have to have somebody. Now, wanting to be in a relationship and wanting to like find your partner is a totally different thing than really actually feeling like you cannot be alone and needing to have somebody. Some people like literally can't sleep at night because there's not somebody laying next to them. And now I can understand if you've been with somebody for a long time and that same person has been laying in bed with you for a long time, it might be a little more difficult to fall asleep at night for like a couple nights or something maybe. But I don't know. I can't say that like I think there's a really big there's something there. I don't want to say it's a problem because it's not like it's a problem, but there's something there that you need to figure out what it is, why you cannot be by yourself or you feel like you cannot be by yourself. Um because it's important that we can be with ourselves and learn ourselves and know ourselves and sit with ourselves, because sometimes we need to do that too. Like if you date someone for a while and you get, into a relationship or whatever with that person, you might need some time by yourself in between that and dating the next person, just to analyze, just to sit with yourself for a second and look at, you know, who were you in this relationship? Like, we always can look back on things and say like and find ways that we could have maybe done better, you know. I'm sure that you can look at a relationship and if you're going to be really honest with yourself, you got to be honest with yourself. Um if you're going to be honest with yourself and say like, hey, I probably could have did better in this. I know in relationships that I've been in, I've definitely been the problem. A lot of times, and maybe not the whole problem, but I definitely played my part. um and I was wrong in a lot of scenarios. I handled things, I could have handled them better, handled them in ways that were very immature and uneducated. I was very uneducated in how to even communicate, mm, with another human being, or even really how to be in a healthy relationship. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect at it now, but I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Anyone who dated me before, like as long as they're a healthy person themselves, which I can't say that probably there was too many guys that I just was in a health, they were healthy and I was just the unhealthy one. Pretty much got in unhealthy relationships with unhealthy people. But let's just say for argument's sake that like I was in a relationship with someone who actually was, emotionally balanced and a healthy individual who was looking for a healthy relationship, and they found me. I was probably the problem there, and they would not recognize me in a relationship now because I am a completely different person. And I have learned a lot about how to actually be a partner to somebody. And I'm telling you that a lot of it came from being like super upfront about what I need, how I feel, who I am. Excuse me. And then also asking those things of whomever I'm, excuse me, dating or talking to or whatever, dealing with at the time. Like I asked the same of them. Like my partners, I definitely asked them to be 100. Tell me, how do you tick? What do you need? What, who are you? You know what I mean? Like that's really made a huge difference. And then like just understanding and compassion and not jumping to conclusions. My unhealed mind would jump to so many conclusions. Like it, I would make up scenarios. Like this must be what the person is doing. But in all reality, I didn't know all the time. There was times I didn't know for a fact. But not all the time. Sometimes it was just literally like I don't know. It's like your mind just gets to racing and just making up things like, "Ugh, it's got to be this," and it's almost like it's like a fear thing is really what it is. It's more of a fear. So that's definitely a self thing. You know, that's why it's so important for us to always work on ourselves first and analyze ourselves first and learn ourselves first, because then we can be a whole different person in a relationship. We can look at everything and come to everything from a whole different perspective when you're just not expecting someone to be doing something wrong, when you're just not expecting them to be this terrible person. You can you can be more patient with some things, I feel like. I know patience is something that I have been working on for some time now. And although I will say that I have gotten really better in it, I've gotten a lot better at being patient. That's one of those things, like it might be a lifelong lesson for myself. I don't know. We'll see what happens. The next episode of Dragon Ball Z, Mel Ball Z, Dragon Ball Mel, but I don't know. Anyways, that we'll find out. But yeah, I don't know. That's one of my self things, I guess, is patience. Oof. But when you learn yourself more and you understand more how like you work and you realize that, people get busy or, phones die or, sometimes your cell tower isn't connecting properly. So if you've got an iPhone, the thing might turn green. Like there's certain things that some of us, not even just, I don't want to say women, because people always make the assumption that only women jump to conclusions and only women nag and only women. It's not true. That's not true. That is not true. That is bullshit. That is bullshit. Because men do the same type of thing sometimes. Not all men, just like not all women. There are some of both sexes that do that. And it's not okay. We need to learn to be more compassionate with each other and step back for a second and realize that, like, you don't know. And if you don't know, you can just say, I don't know. Like, you know what? I don't know why they're not answering my text message after, 3 hours. Like, but here's the thing is something might be happening in their life. Just like imagine if something was happening in your life and you couldn't answer the text message for 3 hours. Have you ever had something happen in your life where you were distracted? Those are the type of things that I literally had to have conversations with self like that about. And I'm trying to help you out there if you need to do that too. Like, stop jumping to conclusions. If you don't know something, just let it go because you don't know. You can't make any kind of assumptions. Just the only assumption that you can make is what you know. You don't know. Let's see. Hi, Miss Linda. Thanks for joining us this evening. I myself am a single woman, and every relationship I've had with a person has stolen from me. Oh, goodness. Or cheated, or so evidently they have lost love. Evidently they have no love in them. Oh, yo, that's some unhealed people. And now, how do I say this? This is one of the things too, is okay, we've talked about boundaries and loving self, and like self-love is the most important love in the world. I don't care what anyone tells you. Don't let people tell you that it's selfish to love yourself and to care about yourself and to do things for yourself. Because it's things like this that women and men go through. And it's because we're not showing that person that that's not okay to be that to us. Like, you can't do that to me. And also a boundary thing. And we have to be aware of certain, I hate to use the red flags, but we have to be aware of certain red flags in people. If somebody is showing you things about themselves and those things are something that you would not want to deal with, even if they're telling you that's not who they are, or they wouldn't do that, or it was an accident, or whatever the excuse is, right? And they show it to you yet again. That person is showing you who they are. Some people won't tell you who they are because some people lie all the time about who they are for whatever reason. And they won't tell you the truth about who they are, but you will see signs, certain things that are red flags to you. And here's the thing is a lot of percentage, I'm gonna say 8.5 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, we leave somebody or dissolve a situation with somebody because of the things that were red flags that were being shown to us in the beginning stages that we just kind of pushed off or decided that they weren't that serious at the time. Um, and these are boundary things too, and how you feel about yourself, because people are going to treat you how they feel about themselves. So obviously, those people felt shitty about themselves. I mean, to steal from somebody who was kind to you, or, or even if they weren't kind to you, if you were in a relationship with that person, stealing from them when you leave that's pretty low. You have to not feel very good about yourself. Um, and this is how some people act out. Same with cheating. The thing about cheating is such a crazy thing, because most people who are cheaters, they do this is what they do. But this is why I say we need to have conversations, and we need to have honest conversations with ourselves to find out who we are, and we need to have honest conversations with our potential partners and people that we are dating or getting involved with or speaking to. And we need to be honest with each other about who we are, because people who are cheaters, um they're probably not monogamous. They probably don't ever want to be monogamous. And it's not something that is a part of who they are. And cheating is such a weird thing, because it's like, when you get into a relationship with someone that's a monogamous relationship, and you tell that person that you're just going to be with that person and you're not going to deal with anybody else. If you are not a monogamous person, it's going to be really difficult for you to uphold that. It's a very, very difficult scenario to uphold if that's not who you are naturally. And men and women, because it's not just men, women are not monogamous as well. There are plenty of women who are not monogamous. I know that's super terrible. Nobody wants to hear it, and it makes women sluts, right? To some people, not everybody. But too bad. So sad. It's reality. And there's nothing wrong with that. It is natural, and it's okay. So it's natural and okay for anyone to not be monogamous. The problem is that we have to be honest about these things. If you're not a monogamous person, you need to have that conversation with your partner in the beginning, because they need to know that about you. You already know that about yourself. Be honest with yourself. If you have cheated on every boyfriend or every girlfriend or whatever you have ever had, you are not monogamous. You are not. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. Peace, God. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. There's nothing wrong with you. And it doesn't mean that you're a bad person or anything like that. But you need to be honest with yourself about that aspect of you. And you need to be honest with the people who you choose to involve yourself with, because it's a big deal. And here's the kicker, though. I feel like, and it's psychologically proven, that people don't like to tell the truth for about 3 different scenarios. One of those scenarios is fear, because you don't want any kind of issues. You don't want to lose the person, or you don't want to kind of have any kind of drama or whatever. So people will lie to avoid issues and drama. But when you make that lie, when you tell somebody that you're monogamous and you're only going to be with them and that's it, when you make that lie, man, it's really hard to maintain. And when you get caught, that person who you told you were going to be monogamous to feels betrayed. And it is a huge betrayal. And that betrayal is something that they will forever feel, like that will hit them in the heartstrings, like forever. And I can't say they'll never trust you, because every situation is different and people work through things differently. But the trust that was lost there is very difficult to get back. And sometimes it never comes back. And sometimes people can't heal from that. Like, they won't let it go. And the relationship will forever be different. So it's important that you be honest with yourself in the beginning, and you be honest with the person that you're dealing with, because a lot of times you'd be surprised that the person who you're dealing with may actually be okay with that part of you. They may accept that. They may not be monogamous themselves, and you may have made them feel comfortable enough to be honest with you where maybe they normally would have tried to hide it or tried to be monogamous. Y'all could have a very healthy, beneficial, beautiful relationship, long lasting relationship, and be very happy because you were honest with each other and because you're willing to accept who the other person was. Also, when you're honest with somebody, and I've said this already tonight, but I'm going to reiterate it again anyways. When you're honest with somebody and you tell them about yourself, who you are, if they cannot accept that about you, which that's okay. Not everybody's okay now with that. Not everybody can handle that. No, not everybody wants that. Um you've you've done a beautiful thing. Like, you guys can separate ways peacefully, amicably, mutually. And it doesn't have to be ugly, and it doesn't have to be forever. And it doesn't have to mean that you guys can't maybe do some other kind of you guys could just be friends. You guys could end up being great friends, mentors to each other, whatever, or you could just go your separate ways. Or maybe you might know somebody for them. You might have a friend that would be a great fit for them. Either way, you've opened up that space for both of you. You've opened up the space for them to find someone that fits them better, and for you to find someone that fits you better. And truly, honestly, like, really, I understand when you meet somebody, you're like, oh, but I really like this person. But do you? Because they don't even accept you fully for who you are. Is it worth it? Do you think you're going to change their mind? It's like trying to fix people. Trying to change somebody to be the person whom you want them to be is so messy. It's pretty much, I can't say it's never successful, but I'm pretty sure that it has a very, 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 very low success rate, and it has a very high drama rate. Unless somebody really wants to make changes in their life for their own purposes and their self, it's fair to say that there's a great chance that you would be at odds with that person trying to change them. So I know, Linda, I'm sorry I went off on a tangent, but boundaries, love, boundaries. Do not allow people to step over your boundaries. Make boundaries for yourself on how someone will treat you, how you will not allow them to treat you, and hold firm to those boundaries. And when you see something in somebody that you've seen before, or for a fact it's a red flag for you, just walk away. Walk away. And also, maybe meet somebody in public for a while. Don't allow them around you where they feel like they can be real comfortable in your space and stuff like that. Make them earn that shit, man. Make them earn you, for sure. Because those things that people have done are more about self than they are about you. But there may have been some red flags that you might have been able to pick up on early on in the relationship. And moving forward, if you see stuff like that, be true to yourself, because that's the person that you're with 24/7, 365 for the rest of this life in this body. You're stuck with this right here. So that's who you have a loyalty to, is self, not that other person. Forget about them. I'm like, man, I'm telling y'all, my cutoff game is crucial. Like, it's way more crucial. I used to think that it was crucial, but it's crucial now. Like, And it's probably, and I hope it gets even more crucial. Honestly, I can even do better at holding boundaries and cutting people off. Like, I want to be even more crucial in my cutoff. I want to be more vicious in my cutoff. But I'm at the point in my life where it's like, I don't like that. Boop. Or I done told you too many times. Boop. I done asked for something too many times. Boop. Cause like I told y'all, I love self. I can be by myself all the time. I'm gonna shoot a video and edit and be chill. I'm chilling. Like, what do I need? I have my son. I still have one at home. So look, I got my mama. I don't need too many other people in my life. But anyways, y'all, take your time to learn yourself. Learn what makes you tick. Learn what you feel loved by. Learn your people, man. Have a conversation with your people. Be honest with each other. Be honest with yourself. You know, let's open up to the people that we say that we love and that we are partnering ourselves with. You know, one thing, excuse me, is I say a partner because for me, I don't like the whole boyfriend, girlfriend. Like, I don't like those kind of labels, and I don't like that type of stuff. But I want a partner. So when I have somebody in my life, that person needs to be my partner. Okay. Um, we are in this together. Teamwork makes the dream work, baby. This is not a I sport. This is not me. If we're doing something together, we're in this together. I'm not your enemy. Like, you're not my enemy. People, stop looking at your partner as your enemy. Why are you looking for problems? Why are you trying to find issues? Why do you want to fight with them? Don't you want a peaceful, joyful, satiating partnership? You guys are supposed to be conquering the world together. Not at odds constantly. Looking for ways to, oh, see, oh yeah, you did that. Oh, you did this again and And if that person's gonna keep doing that over and over and over again, and you're sick and tired of telling her, move around. Stop making excuses for why you're still with that person. You like the drama then, maybe. Maybe you need to look at self then and say, dang, do I like this shit? Do I like fighting and arguing? Because if I'm getting irritated about fighting or arguing, why am I doing it? Why am I almost kind of low-key, like I'm looking for a reason to fight with somebody? You got to look inside self and analyze self. I mean, if you're ready for that, because it's a journey. But stop fighting with your significant others about everything and looking for problems. That's your partner. Be a partner. Both of y'all. Both y'all. Be a partner. Be a partner to your partner. And be a partner to your partner. Dang. If y'all watching this together, stop fighting, man. Work together. Unite. Division is the most, man, that division right there is so powerful if you allow it. It'll destroy what could be a beautiful relationship with somebody, a beautiful partnership with somebody. Very fulfilling. So take the time to learn yourself. Take the time to learn your people. Love your people. Be a teammate. Be a partner. And man, let's just keep growing, right? What y'all want to talk about next week? Put it in the comments below, y'all, what y'all want to talk about next week. Otherwise, you know, I'm gonna come with something. So I hope y'all had a fabulous week this last week. I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. Thank you guys so much for showing up. Thank yourself for being here. If you guys want to check me out, I have I do meditations at random. I tried to do them every day, but it just wasn't not for me, y'all. Okay, I tried. I really tried. Just love me, don't judge me, okay? But I do random meditations on Instagram. So if you guys are interested in some meditating, please go ahead and check me out on Instagram. I am Melody Waters. Otherwise, you can find me anywhere I am Melody Waters. You guys can follow Monotfahme at Monotfahme. It's Monotfahme. And that's everywhere on social media. I'll be back next Monday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all, the new moon is coming up. Tomorrow is a new moon. So make sure that you get some meditation in and manifest what you would like to bring in with the new moon. Okay. So the full moon takes things out, it gets rid of it. We can release things with the full moon, and the new moon is bringing things in. So it's bringing in the new. Okay, so bring in, manifest what you guys want. Take time tonight, tomorrow, just bring it all in, and really just tell the universe what you're looking for, man. You can make it happen. Just tell what you want. Tell the universe what you want. I love y'all so much. Thank you so much for joining me this Monday, and I'll see y'all next week. Peace.